Wasted Years, a story by Lord Emmanuel. Seated in the cathedral where her wedding would take place, I was one of the first attendees because I wanted to be sure the wedding invitation was not one of her pranks to get me started. Latecomers were still settling in as the ceremony was about to begin. Poor me, with an old suit inherited from my dad and a faded shirt I'd bought from the second-hand shop downtown. Of course, there was no way I could have afforded new clothes for such a ceremony in which I knew everyone would come looking flashy. So I had to improvise, to say the least. The past 3 years have been about me struggling to find my feet after graduating with a poor result. Not like I was particularly dull or I found the course I studied challenging. Not even that I found school life too overbearing. How could I? My father was a top government official in my country and gave me all I needed to make me thrive in school. I stayed in the best apartment, drove a good car, and was popularly known and dated some of the most beautiful girls. The school campus felt like my stomping ground. It all started one time at lunch, as we were positioned in our favorite cafe to have snacks when she walked in. I was stunned by her beauty and the aura she came in with. I walked up to her as expected of me by my peers. We exchanged numbers. A few texts later, we were on our first date. From date night to being fond of each other, then fondness grew and gave birth to emotions that matured into love. We would spend time in each other's company, building castles in the air and discussing our future marriage plans, how many kids we would have, and what their names would be. I barely thought I needed to graduate from university with an excellent result to actualize these dreams. Or was I even thinking then? After our final paper and submission of our dissertation, I already knew I would graduate with a 3rd class. Not that I didn't realize I needed to work to improve my grades, but procrastination kept me thinking the next semester would be better. Back home, my retired dad could do nothing for me. Even if he wanted to, his ties in the government had been severed due to a change in political party. So, the only door in place for my entrance into the job market was a certificate I returned with. No company wanted a 3rd-class degree holder, not while the economy had a fair romance with recession. I got contract jobs on a fixed basis, but who would pay a low grader anything satisfying or take a chance to retain one? Since I could not afford to rent an apartment, my dad's home became my source of shelter. Thank goodness my younger brother, with whom I shared a room, had moved abroad to do his master's on scholarship. These 3 years could not have been less dire if the girl I lavished a significant portion of my university years with, who also was struggling to find her feet after school with her 3rd-class degree, didn't tell me she was ending our relationship, the only tangible thing I could hold from my school years. Not because love had fallen short, but because love alone couldn't put food on the table, and we both needed food to live and love. I understood. Here I am, seated in a cathedral where she would say, "I do," to a man who knows nothing about my life ruined from investing energy in the girl he's about to ask to be his wife. And I wonder, did loving her ruin my life? Or did I not just get my priorities right? The organ stroke. The bride walked in with arms locked in her father's, and the groom knelt before the priest, as if he was waiting patiently for the ceremony to end so he could take his bride home.
Thank you for listening. If you enjoyed this story, please give us a like and share. You can also follow us for more intriguing short stories just like this one.